3 years ago, I had the beautiful experience of psychedelic mushrooms. And what that for me was, everybody says it was psychedelic mushrooms. It's 10,000 hours of therapy in 1 hour. And for me, it was an introduction to mental health therapy. I never thought about mental health prior to that engagement. And with mental health and with that experience, it caused a lot of things to come to the surface that then I have to now deal with and need the tools in order to work through those findings, if you will. And so that began the trek towards mental health that I've been on for the last 3 years. I do about 2 to 3 hours of mental health training each and every week with different therapists. And it's just become a passion of mine because I realize that every single human being needs to have mental health therapy 3 to 4 hours a week at the same level that we look at physical health and doing 3 to 4 hours at the gym every single week. And that's not how we look at it currently. After my experience and knowing I wanted to dig in more with trying to find ways to improve myself at a mental health level, I literally just went on a Brightside app and found a therapist and started speaking to her an hour a week about life. I didn't have any intention with what I was going to do. I just started to speak to her. And then through that, it then has led me down other paths of specific mental health training, mental health therapy that I've been doing since that introduction. I think that's the biggest misconception about mental health is I was not depressed. Or at least I didn't think of myself as being depressed or anxious or needing mental health. The psychedelics, the introduction to it, I had no intention behind it. And so when I then was aware of the power of what this could do for me, it just set me on a whole different trek of growth. I guess at the very beginning of meeting with a therapist, I really didn't know what I was going to talk about or what I was there for. I didn't really have any intentionality, but I just did it because I said, well, let me just start this thing. And through she's the teacher, she's the guide. It was, once I entered it, it was like being in a classroom and just following the lead of somebody else that has spent 4 to 6 to 8 years of training on how to help me with my mental health. For those that say they don't have time, there's people like that. If you say I don't have time to work out each week, there's people that say that. The majority of the world says I don't have time to work out. The majority of the people listening to this video would say they don't have time for mental health therapy. I can tell you that your world gets extremely better through this type of work. So even if you don't have time if you only had time to do one, I only have time to work out my physical body or work out mental health training, it's not even close. Mental health therapy is worlds above physical health, of which I believe in wholeheartedly, and I work out 3 to 4 days a week. But mental health, we are also broken, and we have no platform to fix what's happened to us. From the ages of 5 to 15, I think that the majority of the damage is done. And how do we clean that up? How do we make ourselves better? And we make ourselves better one day at a time. And here's the thing. You first have to bring this thing up out of your system and deal with it. So it's going to make everything worse at first. But then as you start to work through these things, it's going to make your life better. But if you do nothing and you just leave everything be, what happens is it's down deep inside your subconsciousness. It's nothing that you're aware of. It's nothing that you're working on. And then one day you come home and you kick the dog and you yell at the wife and you cannot figure out what happened. What caused me to get to this level? And what caused you to get to that level is it's no longer in your control. It's in the control of your subconscious mind. Now, how can it be in the control of your conscious mind? By mental work, by doing the work to bring it up and working with the issues that were caused and that were quite frankly out of your control. Most of these issues were caused in childhood. We do a lot of damage since childhood as well, but most were done during childhood, and you have to have a platform to clean it up and become your best self. So when I tell people, I do 3 to 4 hours of mental health therapy a week, everybody always responds to me almost as if it's a stigma. Are you okay? What's wrong with you? Are you depressed? Are you anxious? And I try to explain to people that if you would have told somebody, and I heard this on a podcast the other day, if you would have told somebody 60 years ago or so, I'm going to go for a run, they would have said, who are you running from? Because nobody did physical exercise. Nobody went jogging and did the things on a physical level that we now consider to be commonplace. If you think about mental health training, that's where we're at right now. So when I tell people that I do 3 to 4 hours a week of mental health training, they say, what's wrong with you? And there's nothing wrong with me, and there's nothing wrong with everybody listening to this video. But if you do the consistent work, you become your best self. Everybody has a misconception about the cost of it. When you think about our insurance, we have, I think, Blue Cross Blue Shield. I pay $0, and I go through hours weekly of therapy, and I pay $0. I'm not saying every insurance has that coverage. I just know what ours does. But if I could do something for free, and at some level it helped me, why wouldn't I do it?